Okay, here we go. This may make some people mad, but I really don't care. First off and foremost, I am sick and tired of hearing about George Floyd. Okay? Yes, the man died. Yes, he was murdered. The police officer that killed him deserves the death penalty. The ones that stood around and watched him kill him deserves either the death penalty or they deserve life in prison. Granted, that is true. He did not deserve to be treated that way. Nobody does, black or white. But the one thing you got to understand is this. Just because George Floyd died at the hands of a police officer does not give people the right to loot, to burn down cities, to destroy personal property, to murder people, to attack people because they are white or any other color or what uniform they are wearing. I'm sick and tired of it. I watched just a portion, all I could handle, of George Floyd's funeral just the other day in a gold casket being paraded down Main Street with 500 or more people in attendance, giving this man, who was a criminal, okay? Granted, he did not deserve to die the way he died, but he was not your model citizen. He had been in prison multiple times for drugs, which included cocaine, methamphetamine. He had been in prison for robbing at gunpoint a pregnant woman. Okay? This was not a head of state. This was not some model citizen who deserved an award. He was a thug criminal. Granted, even though he was a thug criminal, he did not deserve to die the way he died. So don't nobody get me wrong saying that I say he deserved it. He did not deserve it. But quit holding him up as some kind of hero, because he wasn't. He was a criminal thug, a career criminal. Okay? And I don't care if you like that or if you don't. It's the truth. Facts overrule your feelings. Okay? Black Lives Matters and Antifa. Sick of hearing about them. Black Lives Matters is nothing more than the black version of the Ku Klux Klan. Is all it is. Okay? They say Black Lives Matters, but the fact of the matter is this. Black on black crime is at 98%. That's not my thoughts. That's not a made up number. That is statistics from police records, from having arrests done, and incidents that happened during arrest. Black on white crime is at 82%. White on black crime, if I'm not mistaken, you can look it up, is at 70 something percent, 72%. More black people are complaining about police brutality when the facts are, statistics show, that more white people are arrested, pulled over by police officers than blacks or Hispanics or Asians. More white people are killed every year by police officers than blacks, than Asians, than Hispanics. Sick and tired of hearing how the police are racially profiling and being so brutal to people of color. It's just not true. It's not the facts. The biggest problem in the black community is black on black crime. Okay? So quit blaming the white man. I understand that 150 years ago, our forefathers owned slaves. And if you want to get technical about it, at the time of slavery, when the Civil War happened, not one registered Republican owned a slave. Not one. They were Democrats. And the Democratic Party is still trying to make the black man a slave. Joe Biden getting on TV saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. The welfare system was created so that black people would leave their husbands, have fatherless homes, move into the ghettos who were set up for the black community so that they could be controlled and given money for votes for the Democratic Party. You don't believe me? Look up your history. Planned Parenthood. Oh, I know it's a woman's right what she does for her body. In the 20s, when Planned Parenthood was instituted, the woman that instituted it, Margaret Sanger, she instituted it as a Democrat through the Democratic Party urging black mothers to abort their black unborn children. And yet, y'all want to run around saying anybody that is a Republican or a conservative or white is a racist? Give me a break. I'm sick of people playing the racist card, and especially the Democratic Party. That's y'all's go-to. The leftist, the liberal, Looney Tune left, it's your go-to. That if somebody doesn't agree with what you're doing, all of a sudden your go-to is that they're racist. Sick of it. Come up with something that is statistically true. CNN, just because they say it, or Fox, or any other TV network, just because they say it, don't mean you have to be a sheep and follow it. Be a free thinker. Look up stuff for yourself. Not everything on Google is true. Find out real history. Sick and tired of it. Black Lives Matters. I've heard their scream, their cry, oh, the injustice of the black man, the injustice of the black man. And I watched on TV multiple thousands of African Americans going into their own neighborhoods, destroying their own property, destroying their own stores, killing black people, and yet they say Black Lives Matters. And then you got these little panty-waist sissies calling themselves Antifa, covering their little faces so mama don't know they're out of the basement and off their computers, out throwing bricks and rocks and Molotov cocktails at police cars, at white people, beating them, killing them. And this is all okay. Why? In honor of George Floyd. Bullcrap. All it was a bunch of liberals who want socialism in the United States throwing a hissy fit, trying to use scare tactics on people to get their way. Okay? You can disagree with me all you want. I don't care. Unfriend me. I don't care. I, for one, am a white, conservative, Christian, American, free American, and I am sick and tired of having my rights trampled on just because somebody's feelings are hurt. Because you think you have the right to go out and steal you a new pair of Nikes or a new TV because you're too lazy to get off your butt and get a job and go buy one. That's all this was. Had nothing to do with the memory or honoring George Floyd. Grow up, give me a break, and any person that thinks that, you are plain out stupid. You're beyond ignorant. Ignorance is unlearned. You are stupid if you believe that. This is nothing more than the Democratic Party's next ploy to try to use it to defeat President Donald J. Trump, to make the United States a socialist nation. Why do you think they're making all these plans to give out this $1,200 stimulus package? Everybody stand there with a hand out, gimme, 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 because they wanted to get something for free. And the Democrats want you dependent on the government. They want to pay you for not working. You made more on unemployment than you did at your job. Think about that. You wanted to be dependent on the government because it gave you more, instead of being a free, red-blooded, free-breathing American. Sick of it. This whole thing about police brutality, I done told you the statistics. The statistics of blacks being attacked or hurt or pulled over by white cops or any cops is way lower than what happens with white people. White people are pulled over, killed, more profiled more than any race. You don't believe it? Look up the statistics. Quit listening to CNN and being a sheep. Quit listening to Fox and being a sheep. Think for yourself for a change. I, for one, am a American Christian conservative. I'm a father. I'm a husband. And yes, I'm a pastor, a minister. I'm an evangelist. And I love the Lord with everything that's in me. I got more black friends than I do white friends. And I love them dearly. But if they think that the white man deserves to be beat down, shot down in the back of the head, throats cut, beat with bricks, then they can unfriend me too. Because whatever happened 150 years ago with our forefathers, mine and yours included, I had nothing to do with, and neither did you. Not one person watching this video, not one person alive today in America has ever been a slave to a white man, and not any white man alive today has ever owned black slaves. So grow up, quit licking your wounds that are 150 years old over something you had no control over, nor did I, and move on and grow up. I will defend my family. I would defend my home. I would defend my property. From the pencil that's in my pencil holder all the way to the vehicle I'm sitting in, I would defend it with my life. I would defend my wife, my children, my mothers, my sisters, everyone. I will defend them with my life. And on top of that, if it makes you mad, so what? As far as our police officers, our first responders, our fire departments, our paramedics, if I see an Antifa or a Black Lives Matters or some self-privileged punk, male or female, harming one of our officers, I, for one, will defend them with my life. Everybody hates them, but when somebody breaks in your house, somebody steals your property, who do you call? The police. And now the United States is talking about defunding the police. Let's get rid of the police. Hey, this old boy's game for it. You want to go back to the Wild West? We'll go back to the Wild West. I don't care. But you need law and order or you have anarchy. I don't understand what's so hard for people to understand about that. If you don't have some law, then you just got people doing whatever they want to do. And if that's how y'all want to play it, there's some of us old country boys that's ready for that. I will defend what is mine to the death. At age 37, I had quadruple bypass surgery. I'm lucky to be here. I'm 46 years old. I got more life behind me than I got in front of me. And I will use what I have left to defend what is right. Just because everybody's doing it, don't give you the right to do it. And just because you can don't mean you should. Yeah, anybody can take a Molotov cocktail and throw it on a police car. Anybody can bust out a store window when nobody's around to defend it and go in and steal the property. But what kind of thug does that make you? Do you feel proud of yourself? You're pathetic. And on top of that, I watched a video just last night of where hundreds of white people getting on their knees begging forgiveness for being white. Give me a break. The Bible says I was fearfully and wonderfully made in God's image. I was born this way. I refuse to apologize for being white. Just like the African American man or the brown man, the Indian, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Mexican. You shouldn't apologize for being what color you are. You're how God made you. But if you think for 1 minute this old boy's going to get on his knees and beg you to forgive me for being white because of something that happened 150 years ago, you have went slap stupid. You've lost your mind. Saw a video last night of a white girl on her knees with a dog chain around her neck, kissing and licking the feet of so-called Black Lives Matters religious community. They're screaming, it's God's will. God hates the white man. It's in the Bible. The white man will be the new slave. This old boy ain't going to be a slave to nobody. White, black, brown, yellow, pink, or purple. And I sure ain't going to be a slave to a government that turns tyrannical. So everybody wants to blame. Just like they blame Trump. I am a 110% Trump supporter. You want to know why? Because the Democratic loony left wants this nation to be socialist. They want us to be dependent on the government. They want handouts. They want welfare. They want food stamps. They want the food, standing in line to get food. They want you dependent on them. I mean, for God's sake, we got Ocasio-Cortez that wants to stop cow flatulence. Stop the cows from passing gas. But yet, she flies on a private jet. Yet, she drives that car everywhere she goes. It's not them that wants the control. They want the control of you. I refuse to stand behind a party who sits and congratulates and bails out a bunch of thugs that is tearing up our country. And that's what the Democratic Party's done. A lot of these Hollywood elitists, I'll never watch some of their movies again. They don't deserve my money. They don't deserve your money. Bailing out these murderers, looters, rapists, cop killers, bailing them out of jail, paying their legal fees. Why? Because they can't have control unless anarchy hits. Unless Trump is out of office, a man y'all can't control. I refuse to stand behind a party who wants to kill babies. Not only unborn babies, but the Democratic Party wants after-birth abortion. And if they ever get in office, that's what they'll do. They'll kill them after they're born. You might as well take a gun and shoot them in the head at 3 years old, according to the Democratic Party, because they have after-birth abortion to where after the child is born, if the mother and father choose whether or not they love it or not, they sit down and have a discussion with the doctor whether or not to give it a shot of lethal injection and let it go. How sick and twisted has America become? What's wrong with you people? Nothing is sacred anymore. I refuse to stand behind a party who thinks it's weird and strange that you're off your rocker if you're a heterosexual and you marry someone of the opposite sex. You're weird now. If a man and a woman marry and have a traditional marriage, you're weird because you don't agree with the homosexuals. I love the homosexual, but I do not agree with their lifestyle. It's against the Word of God. And because that, I'm strange. I'm weird. I love my guns. And I've got them. I carry one every day. Why? Because I refuse to be a statistic of violent crime with one of these thugs out here wanting to shoot white men in the back of the head. Black Lives Matters has a thing out right now, assassinate all white men. I refuse to be a statistic of violent crime if I can help it. I'll shoot back. And I will shoot until I see the threat is gone. I'm not going to live in fear. I refuse to back a party who wants to take my right to defend my family and defend my life and my property and to defend my freedom from a tyrannical government. The Second Amendment's not about hunting, baby. The Second Amendment is about fighting a tyrannical government who wants to destroy its people. I got kicked off Facebook for a while because I made a statement about what Adolf Hitler said. Adolf Hitler said the first step to controlling a people is to disarm them. That's why the Jews were put into slavery, is because they had no way to fight against it. And that's what the Democratic Party wants. They want to ban all guns so they can come in and do what they want. COVID-19 didn't work for them. They tried to cash in on the pandemic. I refuse to wear a mask because you're scared. Just because you have fear does not trump my rights. Do I believe COVID-19 is real? Yes, I do. Yeah, I know people that's had it. I know people that's died from it. But it hits people that have pre-existing illnesses. And it has a 99.999% survival rate. And we got these idiots running around, and I don't care if you like me or not for saying it, running around with masks on and gloves on. And what they don't realize they're doing is, see, we have this thing called an immune system. And the way your immune system builds up is you get germs in your body, and your immune system kicks in and fights them and grows. Once you take them masks off and you decide to stop walking around looking the way that you do, your immune system is going to be way down here, and the common cold is going to kill you because you have killed your immune system by wearing these stupid masks and these stupid gloves and cleaning your house with Lysol that kills 99.999% of germs, instead of letting the body that God gave you react the way it's supposed to and fight infection. But according to the left, according to the Democrats, according to CNN, it's a pandemic and the whole world needs to get chipped and vaccinated. This old boy ain't going for that. It's time the American people that value freedom, that value God and country and family, stand up and say no. We need to go downtown without looting, without rioting, but go down there and raise hell. And yes, I said hell. Raise hell every day like the loony left does, in order to get our point across that we're not going to be controlled. I refuse to walk down your aisle at Walmart because there's an arrow that says I should go that way. I am a free thinker. I was born in a free country, and until I die, I'll live free. George Washington said it best. The American Christian, the thing that sets him apart, is that he would rather die on his feet than to live on his knees. And this old boy right here, for one, I refuse to live in fear. So for Antifa, for Black Lives Matters, and all these mourners, so-called, for George Floyd, before you come pointing your Molotov cocktails, your bricks, and your guns and your knives at me, remember, not everybody's your victim. Get over it. George Floyd is dead. He was not your model citizen. He was a career criminal. Yes, he was. No, he did not deserve to die the way he died. It was wrong. The cop is no better than him. But can I tell you something? All these looters and murderers and rioters, you're no better than the police officer that killed George Floyd. You're a bunch of punks and sissies. I love the Lord with everything that's in me. And you may think this ain't very Christian-like, but before I'm anything, I'm a grown man. And before you come threatening my family, and before you come threatening my freedom, think twice, because I won't think twice. I will defend our police officers. I will stand and I will defend our first responders, our fire department, our EMT workers. I will fight for them if I see somebody hurting one of them. If I see somebody hurting an unarmed, helpless, defenseless person, white, black, red, yellow, doesn't matter. I will defend them.